Bridge solutions, comparing costs in Turkey and Europe. When the construction of bridges, among primary considerations is price of the project. Prices can differ significantly according to the nation in which the bridge is constructed. In this clip, we'll look at the prices of building bridges both in Turkey as well as Europe and examine the variables that impact these prices. Construction costs in Turkey. Turkey is well known as a growing country in the construction and infrastructure. It has experienced growth in bridge projects over the past few years, as well as numerous new bridges being constructed to increase mobility and connectivity across diverse areas. The cost of construction for bridges in Turkey may vary according to the area, size, and difficulty of the undertaking. The cost for the construction of bridges in Turkey can range from $1,500 to $12,500 per square meters. It includes all the construction supplies, work, equipment, as well as other expenditures needed for the construction of the bridge. One of the major aspects that determine the costs of construction in Turkey is the accessibility of skilled workers as well as construction equipment. Turkey has an established construction industry with many experienced workers and an array of building materials at affordable prices. This makes the construction cost relatively low in comparison to the other countries of Europe. Another aspect that impacts construction cost for construction in Turkey can be attributed to the regulatory climate as well as the easy access to permits for construction. In the past, the Turkish government has taken measures to speed up the approval process in construction, which helps to cut down on the length of time and expenses associated with obtaining the required permits for bridge construction. Construction costs in Europe. In Europe, the construction costs for building bridges are usually higher than those in Turkey. Costs for building bridges in Europe is usually between $1,500 to $2,500 per square meter according to the country in which the bridge is constructed. One of the primary causes of the rising construction prices within Europe is the greater prices for labor. European nations have higher pay in construction workers as compared to Turkey that can increase costs for the entire construction. Furthermore, the price of construction supplies in Europe is higher as in comparison to Turkey that makes construction more expensive. Another aspect that impacts costs of construction that affect the construction costs in Europe is the stringent rules and standards which govern the construction of projects. European countries are governed by strict construction codes and regulations that demand the compliance of specific security and environmental standards and can result in higher construction costs for bridges. Comparison of costs. If you compare the costs for bridge construction across Turkey as well as Europe, it's clear that Turkey provides a cost-effective choice for bridge construction. Its availability of skilled construction workers and construction supplies at reasonable cost, in addition to an easier permitting procedure, aids in keeping cost of construction lower in Turkey. In contrast, on the other hand, higher costs for labor as well as the stricter regulations that exist that are in place across Europe result in higher building costs across the region. Even though European countries might have more standard of safety and quality requirements, however, these elements also contribute to the overall costs for building bridges. In the end, the price of constructing bridges in Turkey tends to be lower when compared to Europe. This means that it makes Turkey an appealing option for companies in construction who want to take on bridge construction projects for less money. It is nevertheless essential to look at other elements including safety, quality, and compliance with regulations when deciding on the best location for bridge construction projects. The overall cost for building bridges across Turkey and Europe is dependent on various factors that are essential for companies working on construction. Be aware of these variables when planning budgets for bridge projects. If they are aware of the cost differences among Turkey and Europe, businesses are able to make educated decisions that are in accordance with their budget and specifications.